Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to cover another very important topic related to ngModelGroup, where we will be discussing how to access nested ngModelGroup values. Prior to this session, we talked about the scenarios where we used ngModelGroup values in a very simple way, right? But there might be a scenario in your project where you are supposed to access the template from the template reference variable. You want to access the value of nested ngModelGroup. So in that case, what would be the syntax, what would be the structure that we are supposed to follow, and how we will access that value? These all things we will be discussing in this particular session. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to access nested ngModelGroup values in component or TS file. Okay, but prior to that, you should know what is ngModelGroup, what is template driven form, and for these all sessions you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box, with more than 3000 plus free resources available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your preference, you can go through it. Okay, alright, so now you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file, where we have first heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit, and second heading shows topic name, that is template driven form in Angular for access nested ngModelGroup values in TS TypeScript. Okay, so these are the two heading. Now we will add two horizontal rows here. This is not mandatory, but just to show it in a proper way, like I'm using this horizontal rows, and in between these rows I will design the form so that it looks clear on the browser screen. Okay, alright, so now we are sure that we are going to create a form, and to access the form, like we will be using the ngForm, and for that we should import the forms module, where in app.component.ts file. So just go to app.component.ts file. Here in import section you can simply write forms module and press enter. So once you press enter, it will add the forms module here in this import part. Okay, now the next thing is, once it is imported, you are good to go and design the further remaining form portion. So for that, here you can write form. Okay, and in this form area you will write template reference variable, that is my form. Okay, and here I will assign ngForm. Now look, here it is not showing any error, but if you haven't added this forms module, then in that case it will show you the error. But right now it is not showing any error because we have already imported it. Okay, fine. Now let's understand the scenario. So scenario is quite simple. We will design one form where we have one ngModelGroup inside another one. If you remember, we have already covered this thing, right? So but here we are just focusing on the accessing part of the values, right? So to demonstrate this, let's design the form. So here what I'll do, I'll add one div here, the parent div, and here I will assign ngModelGroup as user detail. Okay, ngModelGroup as user details. Okay, and after that what we will do, we will simply add input field. Okay, maybe we can also add label here. So I'll firstly add the label. Okay, and in this label we will write the username. Okay, and for this username we will define the input field, where I will put the name as username. Okay, and ngModel. These are the two mandatory things that we have added here. Now after this, what we will do, we will simply add the second div, or you can say the child div, where we will use the secondary ngModelGroup. So for that, add the div. Here we will write ngModelGroup equal and then we will write it as address. Okay, so this is for the address, and inside this we will add label for the fields. Let's say city. Okay, so for city we will add input field, and in this input field we will mention name as city and ngModel. Okay, likewise we will add here the secondary label where we will mention state. Okay, then we will write here input. Okay, and in input we will mention name as state and ngModel. Perfect. So this form is almost ready because we have defined both the divs. One is the parent div where we have added the ngModelGroup as user detail, and the second one is child div where we have added the ngModelGroup as address. Okay, now we are interested into a particular value. That means I want to fetch only the value that is in city field. Okay, so normally what we are doing right now, like usually what we do, we check the form.values. I'll show you both things. Firstly, we will access the value with form.value, and secondly I will show you how to access the nested value, exact nested value of the ngModelGroup. Okay, so for that what I'll do now, I'll simply like form is created, so let's add the button. So here I will add the button, and in button we will mention submit. Okay, and here I will write a click where I will write send form data. Okay, opening closing, and here I will write my form. Perfect. So this thing is ready. Currently it is showing error because we haven't declared this right. So let's copy it and let's go and define it. So for that we will go to app.component.ts file. In this app component we will write here this method name, then opening closing parenthesis with curly braces, and then here we will define like all these things, form colon my form, not my form, it should be ngForm. Okay, and always make sure that it is imported here. I just press enter and after that it automatically added here. Okay, because if it is not there it won't work. So this thing is ready. Now we will simply use console.log, and here I will write form.value. Okay, and just simply put a semicolon over here, save it. Okay, so now let's run the application. ngserve -- open, enter. Just wait for a few seconds and then it will show you the output in the browser screen. So here we can see we have main heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit, then template driven form in Angular, access nested ngModelGroup values in TS, one horizontal row and multiple fields. Currently it is not aligned properly because it's in different div, so that thing we can do fix later also, because for now we are just mainly focusing on Angular accessing part. So I think it's good. Now just do right click here, click on inspect, go to console. Here I'll show you the thing. So ABC, let's say username, XYZ as city, and PQR as a PQE or PQ1 as a state. The moment when I click on submit, it will show this entire form data, user detail where we have user details, object where we have city, state and username. But what if I am just interested in this particular XYZ value, because this is city, right, and I'm interested into only city data. So for that, how we will access the value? So you just need to follow a simple step. I'll show you. We will write console.log, then we will write here form, firstly form, then dot value of what? User details. So we'll write here user details. Now see the pattern, okay, because this is the important thing. I want value which is present in this user detail. After that we will go to address, and from address we will go to city. So in the same way you need to write form.value from user detail dot address dot city, and that's it. Now save it, make sure to add semicolon, and now try again. So here I will write again ABC, XYZ and PQR. Just submit it. The moment I submit, now you can see we have two things. One is that user detail, which is showing the complete form data, and the second thing is just specifically showing the city. And that is exactly what we are looking for, like how to get exact value from ngModelGroup, which is in nested way, ngModelGroup value in component TS file. Clear? So yeah, that's all for today. I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.